Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4 finale, World's End. Definitely a great season finale. We had Ghost Rider coming back. He was awesome 100% of the episode. I hope that he somehow shows up in the next season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That'd be really awesome. But he was perfect, like all the way throughout. Every transformation was super freaking sweet. Coulson even got his own transformation, which I assume came along with the deal to sell his soul. That's my only guess, because it's like, you know, the Ghost Rider made a deal with Coulson to go back to Robbie for one specific reason. Of course, it's a very, you know, it's the season finale, so of course we gotta have some cliffhangers. Although they could have given us like 100 new answers, and I still would have been like, what the F, because they're in space. So, you know, we just another question to have for the end of the year when the show comes back. But man, it was a great finale. We have Aida going through her Ophelia. They call her Aida like all the way through. I don't think we actually even hear her get called Ophelia in this at all. So I kind of like that idea, because it's like it's the end of it all. It's just Aida continuously, and we have her going through. She's trying to be, you know, the big bad villain, and it was really well done. She's going through. She's got her powers and stuff. Basically, like the first big fight scene is Robbie coming in, and it's just like, you and you, just get out of my face. You're useless. I want the book. And then he's just whooping people up the whole freaking time. He's just slicing through robots. He hits her in the beginning of the episode and it messes up her arm, but it stays permanent because she is created from like this dark matter, you know, this energy created from the Darkhold. So that was pretty awesome. It was like, alright, he is the way to defeat her. So she's scared of him every freaking time he shows up. The second time, after she sends in the Daisy LMD to kill Talbot, which fortunately he didn't die. He got hit in the head and put into a coma. But I was like, dang, even though he's kind of a douchebag character, still one of the good guys. So it was kind of crazy when they shot him in the head. I was like, holy crap, they just killed him. That wasn't the first time, and it was definitely more impactful the second time. I thought they killed someone off, so they were just really screwing around with us. The emotions were pretty tense for this episode, but every time he showed up, Ghost Rider showed up and Aida was there, she was scared. Like when they fight the robots the second time, it was super freaking cool, and it was Robbie and Daisy teaming up. And he did like that crazy like spin. It was a little excessive because I feel like he could have hit her on that first whip, but it was TV, so I'm like, you know, not gonna nitpick because it was just sweet. It's seen in the slow motion. But he did that extra spin and he was about to just slice her in two. And she was like, I gotta get that out of here. So she takes off, of course. But great team up there. Seem to be teasing something. If he does come back in the future, maybe Robbie and Daisy will end up together, because they were totally like sharing looks. At the end of the episode when he leaves, he's going through an interdimensional portal. And it's like he has a little moment with Coulson after, you know, there's a soul, possibly a soul selling sort of deal going on, and then he's walking through. He stops. It's like, and then he goes through interdimensional portal. I'm like, that means something to me. So we'll see how that plays out in the future season. They might not have time, depending on, you know, exactly what we're getting for the next season, but it was definitely something. They had some looks in there for sure throughout this episode. I'm like, I feel like that's on purpose. So we'll get to see them hopefully team up in more than just an action way in the future. But super awesome seeing Ghost Rider. Super awesome seeing Coulson have the spirit of the Ghost Rider at the end. That was just really freaking sweet. And technically Coulson is the one to take out Aida. I thought that was very interesting. Like, it was Ghost Rider, but it was Coulson Ghost Rider and not Robbie, like I was, you know, anticipating the entire episode. But it was still really cool, and you know, it all came down to it, and they're teleporting all over the place and stuff. And then ultimately he's just got a hold of her, and she looks over at Fitz, and that's gotta be crazy for him. Like, it's just the crazy situation he's going through, and that's, you know, he was totally acting in the one moment, but you know, Gemma ends up being stabbed, seemingly, and then it looked like she got killed. That was just a crazy moment. I was like, holy crap, they actually, you know, killed off one of the characters. But him actually watching her die had to be crazy for him, because, like, that's a weird situation to look at. And she is completely destroyed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's gone. Like, she is done for. However, we do have the Russian. Technically, he's still alive. We don't, I would assume, the LMD for the other guys, that actual human is dead, because the Russian was the guy controlling both bodies, I would imagine, at least. So he's technically still out there. They never, unless I totally missed the scene, I'm pretty sure he's still out there. So, you know, we'll kind of see how that plays out. Their bodies, you know, a bunch of, you know, LMDs of him all over the place. It seems like you know, the way he was saying it, it was almost like there's like just hundreds of copies of him, and now there's a second body. So even if it's not his actual body, I wouldn't be surprised if there were like a billion different copies of him all over the place, and we see that kind of come back in the future. So I'm actually looking forward to that and seeing, you know, considering them going to space, it's really hard to say because I'm trying to think of like all the stuff that's happening on Earth might not matter right now. Like you got characters on Earth we don't really know. I would assume it's all the characters, like everyone gets like frozen in place or, you know, whatever that happened at the end. Cause I'm like, I'm assuming this ain't the government, considering they hit them with like a crazy sound wave that froze them in place. So I don't know who these people are. I don't know if this is supposed to tie in closer to the Inhumans. I don't know if they even want to do that this early because the Inhumans hasn't even come out yet. It's not getting the best publicity just yet based on some of the pictures and the reactions I have seen on Twitter. But I'm looking forward to that. I definitely want to see the first 2 episodes in IMAX. I really would love to see that. So I am, of course, excited to see where they go with that. But man, they're ending up in space, and he's in the asteroid field. It's like, all right, enough sightseeing. So they could potentially be bad guys, where it's just like, you know, you're stuck here. You might as well deal with it. So that's what the team does. Or they could actually just be heroes from space, and they're just new characters that they're introducing. We've technically already had the Kree. You know, I can't think. There are so many different creatures that they could choose from. I don't know. It can't be the Skrull. That's like the only thing they couldn't choose because that wouldn't make any sense why the Skrull would be heroes. But I'm certainly looking forward to where we're headed. But man, this was a great freaking finale. Ghost Rider. Honestly, I was just gushing every time Ghost Rider showed up. I was so happy when he showed up at the end of the last episode. And every time he showed up, it was like, let's just have a perfect scene. Here's Ghost Rider, and so it's perfect. And that was pretty much it for me. But that was all great. And then, of course, the framework stuff was unbelievably emotional by the time it got to the end. And there were people and things just disappearing all over the place. And Radcliffe is, as he even says, like, am I the only sane person here? And he's trying to get Yo-Yo to at least save herself. It's like, you know, Mac wants to stay here with his daughter, despite knowing that she's fake. So you kind of have to save yourself, and people are just disappearing, you know, left and right. And so it just gets down to them, and even things are disappearing. And it was just really well done. And sadly, it did end in like the saddest way possible, because I was thinking, like, man, you know, especially with Ada having that machine, if they could just get up there, bring some people back to life, everything will be great. And it was just very interesting. I love the way they did it. And when they're at the house, it was just well done. And, you know, Mac is freaking out about his daughter, and Radcliffe is trying to tell Yo-Yo, like, all right, you can leave. And she's like, there's kind of no point, because the one person that I love is here too. So all four of them were just going to disappear. And, you know, Mac is talking to his daughter, and it's like, yo, I won't let you go. And then, boom, she just disappears in his arms. It was a great freaking scene. That was the scene that really got me, like, even more than when I thought Simmons actually died. It was, like, crazy, but it didn't, like, it wasn't as emotional, because it wasn't, like, building up. It's like whenever there's, like, crazy build-up, where it's just, like, the build-up was tension, when it was, like, Ada and Fitz and Simmons. But when it was, like, inside the framework, the build-up was just, even the build-up was sad. There was no tension. It was just sad. Like, this is going to happen. Like, she's going to disappear. And I knew she would disappear first before they did, because they're the actual people. So it's like, we're going to, you know, focus on trying to save them before saving her. But it was incredibly well done. So it's just a bunch of tears and a bunch of crazy emotions. But fortunately, both Yo-Yo and Mac do decide to actually go through the door. So that was great that they both ultimately came back. And we had a great scene with Radcliffe as well, where it was kind of emotional. It wasn't really sad. It's just like, this is it. You know, this is the end of the world. Like, what's eternity without Agnes by my side anyway? So it was a great way to do that. And he says, you know, not with a bang, he was going to say, but with a whimper. And before he can even finish it, he just vanishes in the glass, just hits the sand. Great shot, too. Just the way it was done in slow motion, it just hits, and a little bit of it just kind of hits the sand. I was like, that was a perfect shot for that. But very well done. Sucks to see him go. I really did like Radcliffe's character. And I like that actor, too. I've liked him ever since the Mummy movie. So every time I see him, I'm like, let's sweet, that's the dude from the Mummy. But he was really good in this. So it sucks to see him go, even though he did become a bit of a villain. I still really liked him. But, man, it was a great freaking finale. I cannot wait till this next season with them in space. And whatever this time skip is going to be, I have to assume it's been, you know, it was quite a time skip. So I'm looking forward to what we're supposed to be getting in the next season. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this season finale. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. And of course, we ended the season out there in space with somebody, who knows who. Would love to know your theories on, with it being the entire universe and what they're going to decide to show off. I would love to know what theories you guys have for where we're headed for season 5. I would love to know what you guys thought about this season as a whole. Your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about the whole season. One of my favorite things, honestly, it was Ghost Rider. In fact, I love the way they just kind of split this season, because at first it seemed separate, where it was like the first half was just Ghost Rider, the second half was just LMDs, but they brought it back together. The Darkhold got introduced, and it was like, okay, that definitely ties in with the first half of the season. And then, of course, they actually bring in Ghost Rider for the final episode, so that was great too. It sucked to see him go, because I was like, oh, sweet, he's back. He'll be able to help him out on the team, but he had to take the Darkhold and, drop it off in like another like random planet. So it was a great first half. The second half was great too. Of course, the mini Agents of Hydra arc was just pitch perfect all the way through. That was all of that was freaking phenomenal. So this definitely has to be my favorite season. Like, I feel like I said that last season, and this will definitely top last season. Like, the first half, Ghost Rider. This is just the first episode, and they kind of did it again, because I think I mentioned this last time, but it gets kind of bloody when Ghost Rider's involved. Like, that first episode when he showed up and he's like ripping through people and stuff. They kind of did that, but it was all robots. But that first person, I don't think he knew it was a robot, and he just threw like a hook chain through that guy's head. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't know he was a robot either. Or yes, I knew that guy was a robot, but I think there was like someone else he killed too. And I'm like, I don't know if he knew that was a robot. And he like stabbed one of the cops through the head with the drill. And I'm like, did he know that guy was a robot, or is he just like, is everybody just dying today? But Ghost Rider was super freaking sweet. The LMD stuff was really good. Like I said, of course, it was good from the beginning. But man, they got into Aida taking over and people getting replaced, and we actually did lose a character in Mace in this season, who went from like the character you hate to like he's actually a cool dude, and sadly he ends up dying. So it was really well done, and then of course we end up losing Radcliffe by the end. But really great season, really great season. So love the way they did things. Still a couple of cliffhangers going into the next season, because like I said, we have the Russian. We still do not know what happened to the one guy's brother when he fell in the water. I really thought that something was going to be shown with him somewhere. He's still at the bottom of the water, so whatever they're going to do, they got this dude who can die and come back to life and potentially have different powers. That's a big theory, where it's like, I don't know what his powers are, but we'll just have to wait and see for the next season if they decide to even go back to that, because once again, who knows how long they're going to be in space and what we're going to get from that, and how far they're going to be from Earth. So a million different things that they're kind of leaving behind, characters and plot lines, where it's like, it's space, we'll go back to it next season, on season 6 or something. But great freaking season, great finale. Like I said, though, would love to know your theories for where we're headed for next season. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this season, this episode. I would also love to know what you guys think of the Inhumans, what you guys have seen about it. If you don't really know about the Inhumans, they're pretty sweet, so look them up. I think you'd like them. I don't know how much you like the show. We'll see what happens there. But the Inhumans as characters, pretty freaking cool. So definitely check them out if you don't know much about them. But if you do, we'd love to know how you guys feel so far. Of course, it's super early. All we've seen are pictures of costumes. So that's all we got to go on, is just costumes. But I want to know what you guys think about the Inhumans so far. And like I said, just want to know what you guys thought about this finale, this season in general, and your theories for next season. So please comment below, let me know. And of course, thanks for watching.